Demo Day was great. I think we did it different this year, and the theme was back to the roots, which means we want to really enhance the conversation between startups and investors, and we came up with this new format where this investors did speed dating with the startups themselves. So that really helped to get more to the point and have the investor go into startups to meet them on the day and actually set up meetings and potential investments. The response was great. We had 600 something guests coming along, investors, bankers, but also other family and friends. And so far we got very good feedback about this demo day. So very happy about this. Yeah. Especially the teams set up a lot of meetings with investors that we did what matters to us.
So selecting the successful applicants was quite tough. We had to come from 436 applicants to 10 going through the program. But we followed a really rigorous process. So basically all the applicants applied online in a simple form, providing us as many information as they could. Decreasing the number of 436 to 150 is because most of the time we have too early stage, out of our scope companies that we decrease. Once we into 150, this becomes a bit trickier. So we involve all our partners around the teams, the experience in the accelerator, to go through the application and to decrease them to 50. Around 50 actually, a bit more than 50. And once we had this 50, the competition was tough. So we had a lot of Skype interviews with them, checking their technologies, checking what they were building, getting to know the teams for a period of 2 to 3 weeks. And then we decreased it to 20. And the top 20 came to London, so 20 teams from 14 different countries, I think, 4 continents, for 3 days, from 8 AM in the morning to sometimes midnight in the evening, working, pitching, presenting their product to hundreds of mentors, to the Startup Bootcamp, to our partners. And everyone did evaluate the startups according to the team, the traction, the product, the market, the viability of what they're building. And after the selection committee gathered together at the end of the 3 days and discussion around the table, we selected the top 10 that joined us for the 3 months of the Startupbootcamp FinTech program.
So Mchanga is a platform for the mobile phone that allows you to collect donations for life shocks. Anything from weddings to funerals to medical care, using mobile money and using even the most basic mobile phones. So Mchanga was inspired by really kind of the practices that we see in Kenya every day. The average Kenyan fundraises or conducts a gives to a fundraiser at least 8 times per year. And increasingly, as people moved away, this practice has gotten more and more complicated, different money coming in from different places, and less transparent. So we thought about building something on top of M-Pesa, the largest mobile money service in Kenya, and making a platform that's going to help people for end-to-end transactions. So from the start of your medical fundraiser through to nominating treasurers, to sharing the transparency of the fundraiser, to making those purchases that you have to make.
Okay, well the company is called Invest Up, and Up is a debt and equity crowdfunding supermarket, actually the world's first of its kind. We sort of describe ourselves as the Amazon of crowdfunding. So just as Amazon is a sort of collection of lots of different shops, Up is a collection of lots of different crowdfunding sites. The idea really formed whilst I was working as an accountant and trying to help some of our clients raise money from the banks. It was a problem at the time, and was sort of looking around for ideas, came across crowdfunding and thought, well, this is an obvious solution. Signed up, really loved it, but actually the problems for me really began once I was using these sites as an investor. So I found it time-consuming signing up to them, I found it time-consuming flipping between all the hundreds of different sites there are each evening. And also, once we got into it, we realised we were onto a winner, because there were other investors already in the space saying, I'm fed up of managing 8 different accounts, and also businesses were saying, why can't I list on multiple platforms? But there was no real way to do that, so we sort of met the needs of both the businesses and the investors there.
MilliPay drives incremental revenue for digital content providers by making payments as simple as browsing. Users can pay from a digital wallet with one click at most, even for smallest amounts if you want, down to fractions of a cent. So the original idea of MilliPay came from some thoughts like where the founders had the experience that when you buy digital content on the web, you have to go through a lengthy e-commerce checkout with multiple steps, where nowadays you're just browsing through content, you consume very little bits and pieces in very different places, and for this you need a different type of payment that allows you to just focus on what you're doing, the consumption or the reading actually of content.
I've done a lot of things. I've managed team, I was a teacher at the university, I did a bit of coaching. I wasn't exactly sure what I was expecting as a mentor. A little bit of coaching, but I think the teams I'm following and supporting, particularly Mchanga and InvestUp, are very, very mature. So I don't think they necessarily need this kind of support. I became more a kind of ideation and strategy punching ball to whom send some ideas and get back to the teams with my vision of their ideas, help them create a marketing strategy, some strategic relationship, introducing them to a number of my contacts, to potentially reach partnerships or new businesses. Yeah, it's really being involved in the branding strategy and becoming kind of a trusted advisor more than a mentor. There is a kind of progression. Actually, I'm going to continue working with them even after the end of the program.
Startups get mainly 3 things out of Startupbootcamp FinTech. One is, the most important one, is exposure. So exposure into any kind of channels in FinTech, to the banks, to the press, to every kind of investor that is out there who wants to invest in FinTech startups. Second one is introductions through our network of mentors, of our partners, of investors who are very keen to help the startups to be introduced to the right people in the right directions. And then also it's funds and fundraising. So after having been a Startupbootcamp FinTech, you have very high chances to be funded by the investor community in London. Having had Demo Day just last week has shown that we had 250 investors coming along to be introduced to the startups, and the conversation has been taken forward. Besides that, we do a lot of other little things in doing the accelerator. So masterclasses, workshops to really polish the startup's idea, business model, or certain things of the startup to really then have them ready for investment and partnership with banks.
It wasn't a particularly deliberate move. We were sort of introduced to Startup Bootcamp. We knew about the brand. I knew about what accelerators could do, but had never been through one, so had nothing to benchmark it against. And also, I think at the time we thought, yeah, we're doing well. We don't need anyone. This is stupid naivety. And so we eventually did get onto the program, and thank God we did. It's been phenomenal for the team, just in the way that we operate. The way we work as a team, the way that we actually work towards goals, the way that we view all the different things that the business has got to do. I mean, every single facet of the business has sort of been reviewed as part of this process. People who think they already know all the answers and don't need to go through programs like this, they just simply, I think they need to think seriously about going on to one of these things, because unless you have all the answers already, then you've got a lot to learn from them.
So our main reason to join Startupbootcamp FinTech was that in London we have this rare situation that you have big media companies, financial players and tech companies all in one spot. So this is for us actually like all of our target groups. So here we can have actually also find the very progressive players that are much more receptive to MilliPay, and this has been actually also confirmed
Yeah, so our business was growing pretty fast even before the Startup Bootcamp, but we decided to make the leap and to join, and we're one of the teams that have come the farthest geographically to be in London at Startup Bootcamp. And the reason we did that was really exposure to partnerships, to mentors like Jean-Stéphane, and also, you know, really get the pulse of the FinTech space. See where there are synergies, see where there are not. How to work better with banks, how to bring innovations to banks. These are something that we feel we could only have gotten through a program like Startup Bootcamp.